Well, good afternoon, everybody. Bonus video for today. The only reason I'm doing this is because I just finished something that some of you have asked me about, so thought I'd kind of show you this one a little bit and tell you what to do with it. So, anybody have a clue what that is? That is one bottle of Applejack. And if you don't know what Applejack is, I will tell you real quick. It's actually a old colonial alcoholic beverage that the Patriots, I guess we'll use that, from the 1700s kind of figured out by accident how to make. When the colonists had landed here in the United States growing apples, and they'd squeeze them down to make apple juice. They'd put them in big wooden barrels, right? Well, when wintertime would roll around, all those barrels sitting outside with apple juice would, of course, freeze. And what they had found out was what we all know. As the apples fermented, they became alcohol, okay? But water and alcohol freeze at different temperatures. So when they broke through all the ice, which floats, that was on the top, underneath was this alcoholic, basically apple cider, okay, and called it Applejack. So that's the history behind what this is, okay, and it's really easy to make. And actually, we can make it a little bit better than the colonists did because we have a little bit better ingredients that we can use, okay. So how you make this stuff is pretty simple. Most of you, I mean, I've got enough comments on it, have seen my video from a week or so back on how to make your own homemade wine. Well, the start of this is exactly the same. You take your plastic bottle of apple juice. Again, has to be 100% juice, okay? So you can get those at Walmart for a couple of bucks. But instead of adding white sugar like we did for the wine, what you do is add dark, has to be dark. It'll be a lot better if you use dark sugar, trust me. Dark brown sugar instead of the white sugar. And make the recipe exactly the same. Put it in your jug, shake it up really well, put in your yeast, and stick it in the cabinet just like you did with the wine for a month. Okay, let it ferment. Now, what that will give you is basically an apple wine. Okay, and it'll be just like the grape wine. It'll just taste like brown sugar and apples, which is still good. You can leave it be. What you'll find, though, when you're done with that, it will be extremely dry. So if you like a good Chardonnay or something like that, you'll probably like it just as apple wine. Okay, but to take it a step further, we're going to make Applejack. So first thing you're going to do is obviously, once it's all fermented and everything, you have your bottle of apple wine here. You're going to take one of those frozen concentrated things of apple juice. You know what your little frozen thing about this big, you mix it with a couple of cans of water and you make a jug of apple juice. Okay? You're going to thaw that out and pour it into your fermented apple cider, if you will, for all intents and purposes. Then you are going to mix that all up. Again, be careful to mix just the liquid. You don't want to stir up all that dead yeast that's on the bottom again. Okay, so if you want to separate the wine out from the yeast first, that'd probably be a better idea before you mix in the apple cider, or the apple concentrate. That'll give it its sweetness back and much more of an appley taste to it. But here's what you do next. Pour it all back into your plastic container, and you're going to go throw it in the freezer. Okay, just a regular kitchen freezer, nothing special. Let it stay in the freezer for 24 hours until it's frozen. Take it out, open it up, tip it over. I like to tip it over into a half-gallon mason jar. That works really well for me. Tip it over and let the juice drain from the ice. Okay, usually take an hour, hour and a half, somewhere thereabouts to do it. Just on the kitchen counter is fine, no big deal. Let it all drain out. You'll know it's done when you've pretty much got a white block of ice in there. You'll still have a little bit of the brownish color to it or whatever. You're going to lose a little bit. Sorry, it's just the way it is, okay? But once you pretty much got a solid block of white ice in your jar, then you're done. Rinse out your jar, get rid of all that ice. You're gonna take what's in your mason jar now. You're gonna pour it back into the bottle after, of course, you've taken the ice out, and you're gonna put it back in the freezer. And you're gonna do this again. And tomorrow, when it comes up, you're gonna take it all out and you're gonna have another block of ice. And you're gonna do the same thing with the mason jar. And you're gonna let it all drip out and drain out and everything sort till you get it. After you take the ice out of your bottle, you're gonna pour the remaining liquid back into the bottle. And guess what? You put it back in the freezer again. You're gonna keep doing this, usually take about 3 times until you put it in the freezer, leave it in the freezer for 24 hours, and you have no ice, okay? That's when you know you've separated all the water out of the liquor that's in there, okay? Once you have that done, it's all separated, it didn't freeze, you've got straight liquor. Now you have this, okay? So what this is, okay, is just an old whiskey bottle that I just cleaned up, washed out, and used it up, okay? Pour it in there, fill up your bottle. Now, preferably, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but maybe you can. Preferably, you're going to want to have a whiskey bottle that had a cork in it, not just a screw top, okay? Because you want to seal that down. You're going to put it in the bottle, let it sit on the counter completely unopened. Let it gas off for about an hour or something like that. If you don't, you're going to put the cork in and you're going to see the cork kind of rise up a little bit. And, you know, if I put it on there too early, you'll actually be sitting in the other room and you hear this pop and the cork will have popped off the top. You need to let it gas off. Okay. Takes about an hour. No big deal. So finish gassing it off. Put your cork back in it. I like to take a piece of electrical tape, seal it on the outside, okay, around the cap. That makes sure the cap doesn't pop off anymore. Electrical tape works well. It's at least gives it a clean look, and you know that's fine. But what I wind up with is a bottle of booze, for all intents and purposes, that's probably about 40 to 50 proof, and tastes really good. Now, I will give you one caveat to this. This is definitely a sipping type drink. This is not, oh, go pour me a glass of it over, over ice or whatever and drink, 6 ounces of it or whatever. You will have the absolute worst headache you have ever imagined. Okay. You think hangovers, they used to call it apple palsy. Okay. Because it will give you one hell of a headache. It's a sipper. All right. You can chill it. That's the way I personally like it. It's cold, tastes like cold apple cider, if you will. Put in a little short glass, shot glass, whatever, a little rocks glass, and just nurse it along with a beer or something like that. It's really good. It's really tasty. It's really easy. And I thought, because you guys all wanted to know how it was done, and a few of you have asked me, and I try to type it out, I kind of figured I'd talk it out. So that's what it is. Give it a try. Next time you decide to make a bottle of wine, make a bottle of Applejack out of it too. To give you an idea of how the volume works, I usually make it 4 bottles at a time, so 2 gallons of apple juice. 2 gallons of apple juice will get me 2/5 of Applejack. So by the time's all said and done, those 4 bottles of juice you will have condensed down to maybe a bottle and a quarter. So when you're freaking out that, oh my God, I'm losing all this, no, all you're doing is getting rid of the water. You're keeping all the fermented alcohol juice that's in there, and it's really good. And especially come wintertime, take this maybe with a little cinnamon stick or something, or cinnamon Danish, and you will be amazed how good it is. So that's what I got. Just thought I'd give you guys a bonus because I was bottling mine today, because after a month and a week, it's finally done. So y'all have a great day. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow night for live chat on Tuesday nights, and we'll go from there. So till then, you'll get another video in the morning, of course, but and I've got some big news that I'm going to put out in tomorrow morning's video too. But have a great day, y'all. Pinball out.